You've heard the cliche, love is easy, relationships are hard. But it's more accurate to say that relationships are hard because falling in love is so darn easy. Biology, psychology, and social pressures undermine long-term relationships. In our crazy times, love relationships are more complex than ever. More varied stressors weigh on families now than at any time in history. Do you sometimes feel powerless in love? Here's why. We fall in love in the toddler brain, the volatile, impulsive limbic system, which matures by age 3. We stay in love in the adult brain, the prefrontal cortex, which reaches full maturity by age 28. Toddler brain love is filled with wonder at first, but leads inevitably to disillusionment, conflict, and pain. Adult love rises from our deepest, most humane values: compassion, kindness, and desire for mutual growth. We can deepen the experience of love and make relationships safe and secure in the adult brain. The most loving thing you can say to your partner: teach me how to love you. Throughout much of human history, the loss of attachment meant certain death by starvation or predators. As a result, we've evolved powerful emotions to ward off threats to attachment bonds. These formed what I call the laws of attachment. The first law is guilt. When we threaten attachment bonds by withdrawing interest or affection, or lacking compassion, or betraying trust, or avoiding intimacy, or failing to protect, we experience some level of guilt as motivation to reconnect. Attachment law number 2. When we sense that a loved one has lost interest, is failing at compassion, violating trust, withdrawing love and affection, avoiding intimacy, or failing to protect, we experience shame as motivation to reconnect. If blamed on loved ones, guilt and shame are expressed as resentment and anger, leading eventually and painfully to the death of relationships. Your innate temperament determines in large part what it feels like to be you. Temperament has multiple dimensions that greatly influence things like tastes, preferences, choices, and decision making. We're drawn to people with moderate differences in temperament. We want potential partners to fill in our gaps. We actually look for partners who have qualities that we lack, so we'll feel more complete. In courtship, highly organized people admire the spontaneity and tendency to think out of the box of their less organized lovers, who, in turn, enjoy the stability and feet on the ground qualities of their potential partners. But we're not attracted to extreme differences. Partners become more extreme in reaction to each other. You should be more concerned. I have to worry for both of us. You should learn to relax before we all have heart attacks. Partners often experience anxiety from opposite triggers. What lowers it in one raises it in the other. To lower anxiety, partners more organized, orderly, punctual, and rigid, all of which raise anxiety in the partner. If it's very important for you to be on time, you're probably married to someone who's often late. Subtext of all these temperamental arguments: you have to be more like me, feel the way I do, see things the way I do. They try to change each other's innate temperament, which you cannot do. In unhappy relationships, partners blame each other for their personal quality. They see each other as opponents, eventually as enemies. In happy relationships, partners accept each other for who they are and negotiate about specific behaviors, never about temperament. They see each other as teammates with different assets, strengths, and vulnerabilities. Appreciate as many differences as you can and tolerate the ones you can't appreciate. Request changes in behavior, not in temperament. Cooperate. Use your different strengths for the benefit of everyone in the family. The complaints are about specific behaviors. I would rather you do this, don't do that. Contempt is about the character, temperament, or personality of your partner. Your right to get your partner to do something seems superior to your partner's right not to do it. And it's extremely contagious. That's how it becomes mutual. If one of you develops any mild contempt, the other one's almost certainly going to reciprocate. It's degenerative. In other words, it doesn't get better on its own. It gets worse and worse and worse. You build a habit of it. And it requires one or both of you to sell out the self for a temporary peace. And that's what you tend to do when contempt takes over a relationship. You don't want conflict about everything, so you'll go along a lot of times just to avoid an argument, and then you feel like you're being taken advantage of or selling out who you really are. Research has established contempt as a leading cause of relationship demise. It's a potent predictor of divorce. Contempt puts the relationship in the intensive care unit, meaning left on its own, it's going to die. It needs heroic intervention to save it. Partners are judgmental rather than interested in each other. They're intolerant of disagreement. They won't consider each other's perspective. They attribute malevolent intent to each other. They assume the worst. Until proven innocent, you're absolutely guilty. They regard each other as inferior in some way, intellectually, morally, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. But they will display impatience while the other speaks, tap their fingers, facial grimaces, gritting teeth while the other's talking. Other indicators are sighing or rolling your eyes, dismissive tone, mocking or mean-spirited sarcasm. Those are all indicators of contempt. It's impossible to apologize sincerely or effectively when we see it as submission or appeasement. Sincere apology is neither. It's reconciliation. It shows that healing is more important than ego. It includes regret for hurtful behavior without minimizing or excusing it. It describes alternative behavior to be enacted under the same conditions to prevent repetition. The next time I'm stressed and tired, I'll remember how important you are to me. I'll be sensitive to your feelings. Number 1, give your partner's intentions the most benign interpretation realistically possible. Can't live in a fantasy world. Somebody's yelling at you. You can't assume that they mean the best. But in general, intimate partners tend to live up to positive interpretations and live down to negative ones. So the more negative attributions you make about your partner, the more negatively your partner is going to respond. Number 2, your partner is different from you. Your partner has a different temperament, most likely. Different metabolism, certainly. Hormonal levels, family history, life experiences, sensitivities, vulnerabilities, and habits. All of those mean that your partner is going to give different emotional meaning to the same events and behavior. So you have to tolerate those differences and appreciate as many of them as you can. Number 3, replace getting my needs met with commitment to your deeper values. Number 4, realize that you can't be happy in love without being compassionate and kind to loved ones. Number 5, your only chance of getting the partner you most want to have is to be the partner you most want to be. Number 6, you change your partner by changing how you regard your partner. Number 7, to love big, think small. Small moments of routine connection that's been shown to separate happy relationships from unhappy ones. Small moments, but every day.